So the property market is booming right now in terms of offers and the prices that people are paying. But when will this end? And when will the market crash? Welcome back to another video. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. Yeah, have you? And in this video, we're going to be looking at the property market overall. As I've already mentioned, the market is crazy busy right now. The media is picking up on it. In fact, an article last week that just came out says that UK house prices are likely to continue rising despite hitting record highs. And that's just one of many articles that suggest the market's going to continue growing, continue going up in value. So in this video, we're going to be looking at three key things. That is the house price index report. We're going to be looking at the fundamentals of why the housing market is booming, and also looking at the 18-year property cycle, as that's such a hot topic right now. So stay tuned, let's get into it. So first of all, let's have a look at the overview of the market, and I'm subscribed to the Zoopla House Price Index. If you haven't, then I highly advise that you go and do it. Subscribe to it. They send out a monthly report, and it's an overview of what's going on in the market, what are the top growth areas in the UK. So let's take a quick look at the June edition, which has just been sent out, and the first notable thing is 29% increase in demand, which is a huge amount of demand out there right now. Next up, we have the market growth, which is 4.1% year on year, which, I mean, that's completely understandable and expected given everything that's going on. Not surprised to see that. So what is more surprising is probably the -2% in new supply of property year on year, because, well, last year there was already a lack of supply because we were in lockdown or just coming out of lockdown. So now that this year we're a year on and we've still got a small amount of properties coming on the market, it's quite surprising. And perhaps even more shocking is the fact that there's -20.8% overall stock on the market. So it's down to over 20% year on year. So no wonder that the properties that are on the market are getting higher offers and multiple offers. So now I thought it'd be interesting to look at why the market is booming, what's pushing this market growth, and what factors really play into that. So first of all, of course, is stamp duty relief. Whilst it's due to come to an end soon, it's of course been a big factor in pushing the property market. 95% government-backed mortgages is of course helping first-time buyers make that step to buy their first property, get them on the ladder, and of course take a step away from renting properties. Will of course push up the prices. Money printing, well, we know the government have been a real advocate of printing or creating more money, putting it out there in the ecosystem, and therefore more money means more spending or potentially more investing. And linked to that one, of course, whilst we were in lockdown, there was potentially a chance for more financial education. For many people, lockdown was their first opportunity to really review their finances, look at what investing was, and maybe create a better future for themselves in life. So mixed with lockdown and more financial education was of course lockdown and pent-up demand. So there's lots of people there who are thinking about investing, thinking about buying property, maybe thinking about moving house, and there's that pent-up demand. So when lockdown is released, obviously everyone comes off the starting blocks and looks to buy property. Last but not least is low interest rates, which of course is a big one. It's a two-part one, because to start with, when mortgage rates are really low, which they are right now, they're at historic lows, it encourages people to maybe think about, yeah, I'll buy a buy-to-let, or maybe I'll go up in size in property and I'll lock in a really good mortgage interest rate for a long period of time. And off the back of that one as well, low interest rates also means that if you've got money sitting in the bank, well, it's worthless. In fact, it's probably devaluing when you put it up against the rate of inflation, and therefore people are encouraged to go out and spend it or go out and invest it properly. So switching it up, let's have a look at why the market might drop. You know, what are the factors that might encourage the market to slow down and maybe drop off over the next year or two? Well, to start with, of course, it's the furlough scheme. You know, that's been a huge part of what the government have put together in order to keep the economy going, and that is coming to an end later this year. Of course, it's been pushed back a few times now, but the end of it will inevitably have quite a big impact on the UK and the economy. Pandemic news, well, we know a lot of these newspapers have actually been saved because of the pandemic, because they've actually had something to talk about for the last year. And every time we think we're getting past it and there's some new bit of news, they pump it out to us they bring that negativity back and it causes people to be more cautious and maybe pull back a little bit. Next up is interest rates rising. You know, as a human race, we're very good at forgetting the bad times when we're living in the good times. And of course, as things start to go back to normal a bit more and the after effects of what's happened the last year, we might see inflation rise. We therefore might see interest rates rise. So that could have a negative impact on the property market. And last but not least, once again, is business stimulus. You know, a bit like the furlough scheme, businesses have been given grants and stimulus packages to help them get through this period. In fact, some property businesses have been given money which they then use to buy more properties. So as those are taken away, as those slow down, we'll then see a drop off again in more money coming into the economy and potentially into the property market. Now stop right there, don't go anywhere, because we've got the 18-year property cycle coming up next, and that's an interesting topic. But before we do, got my own advert. I want you to sign up to my newsletter. So it's a once-a-month newsletter, comes out on a Sunday morning. If you want to see projects, experiences that I have, maybe mistakes I make, well, that's the first place that I talk about them. And you can get that using the sign up link in the description below, or justinwilkins.co.uk/newsletter, and I'll see you in your inbox. Now for this next part, let me introduce you to the 18-year property cycle. For those of you that aren't aware of it, well, as we know, markets trend, and the theory behind this is that the property market follows the same cycle and trends every 18 years. Now, the reason this is such a hot and popular topic right now is because even with Brexit and the pandemic, it seems as if we're still on track and actually that we're following the same path. And if so, the 18-year property cycle suggests that we have another 5 or 6 years of growth ahead of us. Now, let's take a look at the graph. As you can see, we've got time along the bottom here, and you can see property prices going up over time. So essentially we've got years 1 to 7, 7 to 14 and 14 to 18 then repeat. And the first part of the 18-year property cycle is the recovery phase. Okay, so the recovery phase where we've just come out of a dip, the market's starting to rebuild and we're getting a bit of confidence back. Now, at this point here, where it dips just slightly, that's known as the mid-cycle dip or the mid-cycle wobble, which right now is suggested that's what Brexit and the pandemic were, where we had this time period of uncertainty, yet the market has managed to bounce through it and come back out the other side. If we go along with that theory and that basis, that means we're now entering the explosive phase. And following that timeline of the explosive phase, we're potentially year 1 or 2 into a 7-year period, meaning there's 5 or 6 years left of growth, which in my opinion is slightly crazy, but if things follow the previous trends, this could happen. Once we've reached the end of the explosive phase, well, markets do eventually come down. Once we go up, we have to come down at some point. They can't continuously keep going upwards. So the last part, of course, is the recession phase. Now, a good example of the recession phase, of course, is 2007, 2008, where the market had been pumped up, gone up a lot in value. Then we suddenly had this dip back down where prices came back down, and there was a good 4-year period, really, where the market wasn't very confident and wasn't doing much. And until 2012, when the repeat of the cycle kicked back in and we went back into the recovery phase. So with this in mind, where are we right now? As I've mentioned, we potentially have 1 year just outside of the mid-cycle wobble, or the mid-cycle dip. We've potentially got 5 or 6 years left of growth. So with all of this in mind, can we actually trust this? And have we really got 5 or 6 years left of growth? Well, this is that part of the video where I make a ballsy claim on what I think is going to happen in the property market, and then in 2 or 3 years' time, people can come back and laugh at me if I've got it very wrong. So don't take this as financial advice, go off the back of your own knowledge. But in my opinion, I think we've got another 2, 3, maybe 4 years maximum of growth ahead of us. I think the UK economy is in a good place right now. I think the market's going to continue to grow. In fact, the Barclays Bank boss just came out and said that he thinks we're in for the biggest economy boost since 1948, which is a rather large claim there. I think we've got 2, 3, maybe even 4 years worth of growth. Then we might start to see a plateau and then a decline as the market starts to readjust. So how am I going to combat that? Am I going to continue buying properties? Well, the beautiful thing about property, unlike crypto and stocks, is that you can buy at any price. Okay, when you go and buy stocks or cryptocurrency, there is always a set price and you have to buy into those markets at that price. With property, it's very subjective to that individual house and to how you negotiate it. So if the price is right, I'm going to continue buying, I'm going to continue building my portfolio over the next 2 to 3 years. And then as we start to get closer to 2025 maybe, I might start to reduce the leverage down if I can. So maybe taking my 75 or 80% LTV mortgages down to the 60 to 70% range, just to provide myself with a bit more of a comfort blanket and a bit more security if there was a downturn. And then potentially capitalize if there is a downturn where property prices readjust themselves a bit. So apart from my one little claim about the property market there, I want you to take the facts that I've given in this video, learn about them and make an educated decision yourself about what could happen in the property market. I appreciate you watching, make sure you subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.